What are some asshole things you've seen a fanfiction author do? I'll start. I was reading a really good fic, but about halfway through, a major event happened that was something pretty traumatic. It wasn't tagged at all, not even a mention of it, not even in the summary before the chapter as a courtesy warning. That is the worst an AO3 author can do in my opinion. Omit important tags that could trigger a reader, or a just very dead dove. Credit to Reddit user SadDollars10 for starting this thread on the AO3 subreddit. Let's go read some answers, and you let me know if you agree or not. Manually changing their work's update date without posting an update. Gigantic move. I like tags, probably more than the average person, but authors don't have to tag I'm more bothered by authors clickbaiting with tags that don't apply than I am by authors omitting tags. I saw an author replying, "Is that all you have to say?" to every comment on a fic once. That was pretty bad. I'm petty. I would have replied something like, "Unfortunately, that's all your story inspired me to say." Posting works, and then when you click on them, it's just, "I haven't finished this yet, this is just a placeholder." We have drafts for a reason. It's so annoying. Commenting on other authors in their popular ship tag to self-promote their own work, whilst making passive-aggressive comments on the fics they commented on. An incredibly prolific plagiarist who would basically cut and paste massive passages from other fics and books into her own work across dozens of fics. It was bad enough that a spreadsheet was needed to keep track of everything that was lifted. Her big excuse for stealing from dozens of people was her father had cancer, and it was therapeutic for her, and how dare anyone pick on her when she was going through such a difficult time. I was the first to upload an Outer Banks fanfic back when the show first aired. A few days later, I got lots of messages saying that someone on Tumblr had stolen my story. When I searched for it, they'd literally copied my work and changed the point of view to second-person narration. Needless to say, this was reported and the person's work removed, etc. But they still tried to maintain that it was their work, and that they were being attacked, etc. The most insulting thing for me personally was that they claimed they were inspired by a Taylor Swift album. When people post stuff written by ChatGPT. Also, people that put a bunch of unrelated one-shots in one fic, so there's like 8 million fandoms and tags on it. Authors who are stupid enough to admit their fics were written by AI get muted real fast. Same with authors who post multi-fandom one-shot collections. When your tags and/or fandom lists are longer than the chapters, yeah, no, bye-bye. Posted a fic with a custom date that was earlier than mine, when I was the first in the ship tag, so they could claim that spot. It just seemed a bit pointless to me. A different author started spamming a ship tag with lyrics and commenting those lyrics on every fic they found, including ones posted years and years ago, to dunk on the other writers for writing that ship. It flooded the entire fandom tag too. Their account got taken down now, so it's just funny to look back on, but at the time, it was wildly inconsiderate. I once read a ship for a fic, tagged with the pairing, that ended with 2 other untagged pairings, and the author gloating about the ending and how it was the only thing that made sense and how amused they were by commenters from previous chapters getting excited about the tagged main pairing getting together soon. It was kind of f***ed up. Turning the main ship into a threesome in the very last chapter after they explicitly promised A, they wouldn't do it, and B, even if they did, they would warn the readers first and update tags appropriately. It was an AU where people lived in thruples, and the main ship was the only couple there. The story was good up until the last chapter. The author changed their mind, decided to break all their promises and didn't warn us, didn't update the tags, and then acted very shocked that people hated the surprise ending. The worst, this happened during LiveJournal days, was that an author in a gift exchange wrote a story including all of the recipients' squicks in a pairing they said they hated. Author was a world-class troll. The fic had a sad but hopeful ending. All of the commenters mentioned how devastated they were, so the author surprised us with a bonus epilogue. The new epilogue completely destroyed any chance that the characters might end up together one day. The author said she was sick of people complaining, so now they'll never get what they want. She then used vulgar language to tell us that we don't deserve to read her work. Did she not realize what she originally wrote? Like, if I wrote something bittersweet and people left me comments telling me I'd emotionally ruined them, I'd be all, "You're welcome, wahahaha," because that was the point. I once saw an author block commenters that supported the other half of the ship. Like, they ship the two characters, but hate one character. Any commenters that came to said character's defense were blocked. Like, dude, what the f***? What's the use of shipping if you hate one of them? Write another fic that doesn't include them then. Just write for your favorite. That feels like an oxymoron almost. Shipping a character with someone the author hates, but also just blocking people who comment about that character? Man, that's wild. Making a story with the title and the summary in English, and the story is in a different language. She'd get consistent comments from the same 4 or 5 people, plus assorted stragglers, had tons of hits and kudos on her fic, then stopped updating because she was tired of hearing from those same people over and over again. Be right back, let me keep eye-rolling into oblivion. I would sell a kidney to get even one regular commenter. And these people are out here living the dream? I once saw an author make a death threat against someone who criticized their writing, despite the author saying they were open to critiquing and such. And the critical comment was full of good advice for them to put to good use. The author even doxed the commenter. Yeah, this is why even if the author is like, I want critique, I can take it, I don't buy it because, geez Louise. Getting angry at a commenter not gushing about their work, putting said commenter in as a side character, and having them brutalized and then killed. What the f***? That's just pathetic and beyond petty. Is it that hard to just delete the comment and pout? I commented on a fic with an idea that the fic inspired. They'd written about a pairing, and I wrote that during the wedding, one of them should pick the other up in a bridal carry in an unorthodox way. And the author shut me down with, "Never say that idea to me again. Ever. Person A doesn't get to do that to person B. Not in my world." Like, I guess, go off with your own headcanons, but instead of being nice about it, the shutdown was swift and terrible. Even though I liked their stuff before, I just couldn't get into their fanfics anymore after that. I was too terrified of saying the wrong thing that would make them snap at me again. Yeah, there's a nice way to say no thank you. In fact, the author just could have not responded at all? Damn. I wouldn't necessarily call it asshole behavior, but I find the whole "I can't read fics now that I'm an author because I hate mistakes and I mentally rewrite every story" attitude super cringe. I can somewhat understand when people fear stealing ideas by accident and wind up ignoring new fics, but if you refuse to read anything because you think you're better than most writers, girl, do you just stare at your wall all day? Do you just not engage with media? I find it difficult to read other fics with the same premise as mine because the differences jar me more now. It's like my headcanon had to become more well-defined for me to write the story. I wouldn't call the differences mistakes, but I can see how someone speaking more clumsily might use that turn of phrase. For me, it's more like when I read other fics of the same shipper fandom, I notice how good they are and start comparing my writing to them, which just makes me anxious about writing in general. I don't know if mine is considered on the milder side of things or not, and may not fully enter asshole zone, but I have encountered authors who like shame readers and other authors in their tags for liking certain things. Just sorta like, well, my fic doesn't have any of the icky, gross X, Y, and Z in it, and if you like those things, you're disgusting. I think mentioning that sort of stuff is mega rude. Also, it has nothing to do with your own fic, so why are you bringing it up? Man, no one cares about you on your high horse. Keep your negative thoughts to yourself. Everyone has icks, but as a mature individual, you don't shame others and let them have their fun. When someone posts a story on a ship they don't agree with, and it's not really a story because the fic consists of them bashing the said ship. There was this time an author wrote a fic revolving around the platonic relationship between an older and younger character, which was amazing because the platonic takes on their relationship are my favorites, but rare to see. However, this author went out of their way to bash on the romantic version of that ship in each of their notes, both at the top and the bottom of all the chapters, and in the summary, and in the tags. It wasn't a, hey, this is just about the platonic relationship if you missed the tag, but flat out, this is not about their romance. Stop it. I would never support that. That's f***ing disgusting. I'm not a pedo. Like, okay, good for you. That weirded me out, but whatever. There were so few platonic takes on the two characters that I just ignored it. Not using quotation marks to indicate speech, but M dashes. I hate it. It makes everything unreadable. I think it's kinda a dick move when a story is tagged gen or teen, and then when chapter 12 comes out, the rating suddenly changes to explicit and new tags are added because it suddenly becomes a porn story. And the author either A, says they wanted to make it a surprise, or B, their story didn't get enough attention, so in their opinion, spice is needed. And from chapter 12 forward, almost every chapter will have porn. I mean, of course the author has the right to do that, but I feel uncomfortable reading porn stories. Soft smut is okay to some extent, but I skip porn even if the story summary intrigues me. And that makes me stop reading the story. And then I'm sad because I would have liked to know what happens to X character and how Y plot mystery is solved, etc. Author writes fic for a ship that could be considered problematic, either because of age gap, abuse, or the characters are related. Also author, if you ship anything problematic, don't you dare touch this fic. Or they don't even tag the fic as a ship, and then are talking in either the tags or notes about how, if you see this fic as shippy, I will come for you and you are a bad person, or something like that. Because like, mate, if it ain't tagged as the ship, I ain't gonna see it as shippy unless the characters confess their love, kiss, or wrote smutty fic of real people that have time and time again said that they do not want any sexual content of them whatsoever. I commented on a fic that had my preferred headcanon for a character, and said that I was very happy to see it because it's not super common. Another commenter said something similar. The author added an author's note saying that they would prefer it if any other readers would not mention that, and that it was only tagged that way for filtering purposes. It was worded very respectably, and I wouldn't exactly consider it an asshole move, but it did make me feel kind of shitty and wished that I hadn't commented at all. I saw a fic that was just the author bitching about how they didn't like the new episode of Hell of a Boss and leaving the fandom before orphaning their account. I've seen this happen twice. The author wrote most of the fic, but then put the rest of it on Patreon. You had to pay to finish the fic. Unbelievable! The author always had some whiny excuse too. Yeah, if they link it on AO3, that is against policy, and you should report it. Speaking of Patreon, thank you to my Patreon members, my little ruse, Kuski55, Fallen Vexen, Sam, Donka42, I Am a Noodle, John Juan, Fantastic Wreck, Laser Scorpio, Night Avenger, and Mentara. Thank you so much for your extra support on Patreon. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm super grateful for you. Keep on being awesome. And the same goes to my YouTube channel members, my mini ruse, AD, Taylor Thompson, Foxstar Killer, and Logan. Thank you so much for your extra support. I'm so glad to have you be part of my channel. Hope you guys are doing well. I appreciate you so much. And thank you to everyone else for watching. Like I said, let me know in the comments if you agree that these things are jerk moves by authors, or if maybe you think they're not so bad. And you could tell me your own answer to the question if you'd like as well. go say whatever you want in the comments. It doesn't matter to me. You can share recipes for sourdough bread in the comments if you'd like. Or give out name ideas for pet turtles. You're totally welcome to do whatever you want on my channel. I just hope you're having a good time. So thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next video, whenever it is. Be happy, have a great day.